Hey y'all, and welcome to Monter's Market, and welcome to my cupcake / cookie stand DIY video. I am going to jump into this video. I'm only going to do one DIY today because this one was a monster. So we're just going to jump right into it. This stand was requested by a friend of mine who is a very popular and famous cake decorator here in my area. Her name is Stacy. She owns Sweets by Stacy. That's Staci. If you want to follow her page, she is amazing. She has won so many accolades, and it is so well deserving. And what I'm doing right here, I'm just kind of skipping over telling you about, because the way I'm going to put this together, I will change at the end of the video. But I wanted to show you where I kind of like went with it with my thoughts in the beginning. So I'm just going to go in with my antique wax, which if you watch my channel, you know I am completely obsessed with for a stain. It brings out the most beautiful wood grain in wood, and it's so easy to use. You can do it one of two ways. You can paint it on with a paintbrush like I'm doing now because these pieces are so big, or you can just take a baby wipe, dip it in the stain and wipe it on there. If you do it like that, you don't have to go back like I'm doing now and take off the excess, so you don't use as much of it. But look at that wood grain pop out. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It is amazing. And like I said, I'm obsessed with it. The funniest part of it all, though, is that we're going to go right behind this and cover it all back up. I'm going to cover up all this beautiful wood grain, but there is a method to my madness, so just hang in there and stay with me. The first one that I did, I believe, was 18 inches. This round is 15 inches, and then the top round will be 12 inches. Anyway, back to Stacy. She had asked me for this like cupcake, cookie, brownie stand, and I thought, oh gosh, it's going to be so big, so massive. How are you going to like carry it around? And you know, wood is heavy. And I thought, how can I make this to where she can carry it around easily? She can also use it for different things. So like each party may not be just cupcakes, right? She may be using cookies. She may be using, which would be a lot smaller than cupcakes in height. She may be doing something fancy that has straws in it where she needs a little bit higher, area in between her tiers. Let me stop for just a minute and tell you about these right here. These are the pieces that I was going to use for the middle. Well, actually, the two longer pieces are the pieces that I was going to use for the middle. And then I went with a different direction, but I wanted to show you this would have worked for what I wanted to do. But the reason I did not stay with this particular piece is because they didn't sell them in a matching smaller set. You know what I mean? Like they only had this size. And when I finish telling you what I'm doing in just a minute, it'll make sense. But I wanted to keep these in here because they're so pretty. And actually, if I wanted to, I could send them on with her. No, I can't because she would have to change out the middle piece. Never mind, scratch that. But I did want to show you because they are gorgeous little pieces and they were only a couple of dollars a piece at Lowe's. I will put everything in the description box that I used today. Now what I'm doing right now is staining my little feet. These finials can be bought at Lowe's. Lowe's is the only place I can find them. If you can find them somewhere else, please let me know. But you get two of them for $5.44, which I don't think is bad, although that price has doubled in the past 3 years. Yes, I said doubled, and so has the wood rounds that I'm using. They have literally doubled in the past 3 years since COVID and all of the other mess, or 4 years, I guess it's been now. But anyway, I'm not going to do anything else to them. I stained them, left them like that. This is what I'm doing to my rounds. I'm going to take my white Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to go in the direction of my wood grain. And don't ask me why I do that. I just think it looks better. Like it just looks neater to me. Even though this is a really heavily distressed coat, and there's nothing neat about it. There's a method to my madness, and it'll all come together in the end. A lot of people ask me whenever I do this with the white or other colors, why did you stain it and then paint it where you can't really see the stain? That's because I want the contrasted color on the bottom to be a darker color. Like the wood is so light and it just gets washed away when I use the white Waverly chalk paint or even the ivory Waverly chalk paint. It just gets washed away. So you got to darken that wood up, or for my taste and what I like to darken the wood up. And when we make these videos for you, most of us, we do it strictly for you to be able to draw from it and then go on your own. Like if you don't like the dark wood and the white and you want it just say like green and yellow, if you have lemons in your kitchen or whatever, do that. Make it yours. This is simply showing you how quick and easy you can make a big, tall, beautiful stand for fractions of what it would cost if you go to Etsy or Pinterest or somewhere like that and buy, which I don't think you can actually buy from Pinterest, but you know what I mean. Like if you sought it out already made, you're going to pay $175 to $200 for this particular piece that I'm doing. And you're like, what? That's like a lot of money. Well, when I get through with this, you're going to see why it's a lot of money, because this thing is massive. Anyway, back to Stacy. Squirrel, I get sidetracked and lose my train of thought. Anyway, back to Stacy. She wanted something that she could take to weddings and parties and events that was portable, easy to carry, but yet could be used for several different things. So this is what I came up with. I made it to where, and I'll show you after we finish painting everything, made it to where she can take this apart. And when you see me put it together, we're going to screw it on. She'll be able to unscrew it, take it apart, and transport it very easily. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let me slow down. You're probably also wondering, why in the world am I showing you just a whole bunch of painting over and over and over and over? It's because I got a lot of talking to do to tell you about this piece and some other things that I wanted to talk to you about. And since I'm only making one piece, I sort of had to drag out the painting. And if you watch me and you follow me, you know I don't usually stay on one thing for this long. But once again, for the third time, there's a method to my madness. Now, these are the pieces that I originally was going to use with the wood pieces, which will work perfectly if it's going to be put together and not ever taken apart. But that's not going to give it portability, right? So this is where I was like, wait, you know what? Even though this wood is gorgeous, it's going to contrast beautifully with this white. It's not going to work for what she wants. But I am going to make myself one with these exact pieces that you see me holding right here, because I don't need to take mine apart. This is what I went with for her. These are just cast iron or wrought iron. I think maybe it's wrought iron. And they come with some sort of grease all over them. I don't know. It's like to protect them. They sell it in silver and black, but by the time you wash all that grease off so you can paint them, it's right back to like a silvery color again. Now, these came in silver. I didn't touch these. I am using a black hammered paint by Krylon to paint them. It's going to help it not rust, because of it being metal, it will rust. So the Krylon is going to help it to not rust. And it's going to give it a hammered look, which is going to give it a little more of an industrial sort of, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, industrial look, which goes really, really good with the shabby chic look. Now, my husband came up with this idea, which I thought was brilliant. He put my screws, because I was like, how am I going to paint the tip of these screws and make them the same color? And he came back with this little piece of cardboard with all of my screws stuck in it. All I had to do was set it down and spray the top of my screws. And I was like, you are so brilliant. That's why I keep you around, babe. That is exactly why I keep you around. Like, he is the smartest man in the world. But okay, Anyway, enough about him. Y'all know I could go on and on about him all day long. I'm going to put my feet on, and this part is super easy. You just want to measure and make sure you're getting them kind of in the right spot where they're directly across from each other. Now, it looks to the naked eye like the one on the bottom is over to the right too far, but it was all measured up. So I don't know why it looks like that here, but I can assure you I am OCD when it comes to measuring my stuff, and it was right. Now, I did lose my spot when I dropped it on the floor right there, and I was like, okay, something's not right about that. So when I went to put it on, I did move it over to the left just a little. You'll see that in just a minute. So now I'm going to take my screws and I'm going to drill a little hole in there. I'm going to put the screw in and I'm going to pull it right back out. This is not the screws that I'm using. This is just a random screw to give me a pilot hole to be able to screw those legs in. Another thing that I did too is when I went to put my legs in, I did not do it with the first one, but I did go back with the camera off and do it because it was an afterthought whenever I did the second one. I did take my wood hot glue, and before it went all the way down, I squirted some of that wood hot glue under my my little foot there, my little finial. And when I screwed it down, that's going to assure that it's going to be solid and it's not like those legs aren't going to get loose and start being wobbly or whatever later in the future, because if she uses it as much as I hope she uses it, then it's going to get a lot of wear and tear. Anyway, that's me just adding a little bit of the glue. It doesn't take much, just a little squirt on there. And you just screw them right down in there, and it's the easiest thing in the world to do. And these, to me, bring the visual of this stand up like tremendously. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes it so much more high end than putting maybe some little felt pads on the bottom of it and using the whole bottom as the actual bottom. Does that make sense? That's a lot of bottoms. In other words, if I didn't put any feet on it, I would have put some felt around it to keep from scratching up whoever's table, was going to be using it or whatever. But these feet elevated it. It made it a much more significant piece. And I love those feet. Like, I love the finials, and I love the height that it gives to this whole piece, because this is a really, really tall. It's over 2 foot tall when it's done. Now I'm just measuring the middle of my bottom piece, or it's the top of my bottom piece. And I'm going to put that little pole, that little piece that holds the pole in, and I'm just going to screw it in. And that drill is causing my camera to shake, so I apologize for that. And then it's as simple as screwing in the little poles. And then you're going to place one of these on the middle of each one. Now, I'm going to tell you why I did it like this. Because I want her to be able to raise and lower her tiers to fit what she's making that particular time. Sometimes she may have cupcakes or cookies or brownies, and those are going to be shorter, right? I went back and I got some. So the poles that I'm putting in here right here for the video are 8 inches. I went back and bought 2 6-inch poles and 2 4-inch poles, and I painted them in the black hammered paint. Now she's going to have basically 3 different ways that she can use it. Actually, more than that, because she could use like an 8-inch on the bottom, a 6-inch on the top, or a 6-inch on the bottom, a 4-inch on the top. You see what I'm saying? Like, she can change them out to match whatever she's stacking on her tiers. She makes so many different things. So many different things. If it's a dessert, she makes it, and she does such an amazing job. So I wanted this to be portable. I wanted it to be flexible for her, so that whatever she's using, she can put, whatever poles in there that she needs. Am I making sense? Like, I feel like I'm going round and round in circles and not even explaining what I'm trying to say. But bottom line is, I wanted to make it to where she can make her tiers taller or shorter to fit whatever she's making for, this particular party or wedding or whatever she's doing. Also, I wanted these on here so she could take it apart and stack it up and transfer it a whole lot easier than transferring it all put together. Because like I said, it's over 2 foot tall, and when you put it all together, it gets a little heavy with all of the wood pieces, and that being like a wrought iron, the wrought iron's a little heavy. So I don't know what it weighs. I mean, it's easy to pick up and move, don't get me wrong, but it does get a little weighty with, it all being put together. So I made it to where she could disassemble it, stack it up, and transfer it to wherever she needs it to go. This is what it looked like when I was done. I am so in love with the way this turned out. Again, these are the 8-inch poles. I didn't have any dessert to put on there, so I just threw some of the things that I've made in the past on there to show you how pretty it looks whenever it's styled. And I love it. I love the shabby chic. I love the French country. I love the sort of rusticness that the legs give it. But I also like the industrial sort of look that the black wrought iron gives it. So you can use this for so many different events. And it's going to match well with pretty much anything that she is going to be doing. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this massive cupcake / cookie stand, and tell me what you would have done differently. I love hearing your advice. I love hearing your tips and tricks, and I just love hearing from you guys, period. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. My name is Brenda, but my sweet grandbabies call me Monner. That's where Monner's Market came from. I have a video every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, most every Tuesday. If you watch me all the time, you know the last couple of weeks we've been not here because of all of the hurricanes that we've had. Thank you so much for all the prayers, for everyone that has checked on us and made sure we were okay through the hurricanes. We did do very, very well. We had lost some shingles on the house and a lot of our privacy fence. But other than that, we actually never lost our lights. So that's great. And that's really all the damage we had. So God was good. He kept us protected with all 3 of them. Hopefully it's over for the year and we can sort of settle down and eat all this food that we've bought up now. I am a prepper, y'all. So anyway, I've rambled on way longer than I wanted to, but also I want to tell you, every single Tuesday we do a live chat during the premiere. Come and join us. We have a great time over there, and we have the best group of people that we chit chat with and catch up with every Tuesday. So come and join us. I'm going to hush my rambling for now. I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same channel, same place. But for now, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Bye now.